Tomorrow is the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu's birthday, and to mark the occasion, a digital platform will be launched, which will allow access to his vast collection of works. The Archbishop the Archbishop Desmond Tutu IP Trust, spearheading the mammoth project, which will develop over the years as more materials are made available online. For more, I'm joined by chairperson of the Trust, Dr Mamphela Ramphele. Dr. Ramphele, appreciate your time this evening. Could you please provide an overview of the archival project and the digital platform launched to commemorate Archbishop Desmond Tutu's legacy on his 92nd birthday?
Thank you very much for asking. We are very excited about the work we have been doing for the last 3 years to collect, to document, to protect, and to preserve and make available the Archbishop's extensive intellectual property rights and articles, items, books, speeches, pictures that really speak to his amazing, iconic ministry. And so this platform, this digital platform we are launching on the dot, 1 minute after 12 on his birthday, is simply to give the world a look and feel of what is to come. We have developed an amazing architecture that allows us to capture different types of physical IP items that then can be plugged in and be preserved for posterity. As you know, physical material have got a way of disappearing and or getting messed up. But the digital platform we are setting up is to do precisely that: preservation, protection, and dissemination that will make this iconic man's ministry part and parcel of our heritage from generation to generation.
Dr. Ramphele, you talk about launching a minute after midnight. So obviously great care and work has been taken into putting all of this together. Speak to us about the significance of launching the platform on Archbishop Tutu's birthday.
The significance is simply that his prophetic voice is missing in our country, which has unfortunately failed to live up to the promise of freedom as a democratic, social justice, and equitable country. But the world is also missing his prophetic voice as we look at the planetary emergencies, climate change, conflicts, and wars that signal our failure to be that great human family that he spoke so eloquently about. So we believe that by restoring his voice in the public domain through this digital platform, we will remind people that we are capable of being the best that we have been created to be, as he always wanted us to remember.
Now, the project is described as unfolding over several years. Could you elaborate on the timeline and phases of the project, as well as the materials that will be made available? I mean, I can only imagine just how much will be available over the next few weeks or days, to speak.
Well, this is the first phase, which is showing you the architecture, the platform and its capabilities. And we have loaded quite a significant number of items, largely from Orange Media, which has been very generous in making that material available to honor the Archbishop. But we have a lot more work to do. There is a physical archive that requires digitizing, uploading, checking and cross-checking. But there is also another aspect of the work in the second phase, which is connecting to the archives that exist in other universities in South Africa, particularly the University of the Western Cape, but also abroad, where he trained at King's College in London, they have an extensive archive which they are willing to connect to ours so that we will, in the end, have a South African leg, a UK leg, and a US leg. As we know, he spent a lot of his time, particularly the last few years of his working life, in the US. And all of those institutions would like to be part of this. So this requires a lot of funding. We need the best digital platforms and digital technicians to work with us so that we can produce something that will be befitting of a man who believed in excellence, a man who believed that you always have to do your best.
So the pressure is obviously on to make sure that that this project is of the absolute highest standard.
Absolutely. But we also want to signal that we are capable of excellence, because this work is going to be made available to researchers, to students, to young people all over the world. They mustn't see something kind of slack. They must see that human beings have the capacity to bring their best to anything that they commit themselves to. But that requires also collaboration, because no single institution like the IP Trust could do this alone. We can only do this with the support of the corporate sector, which really has come to the party to invest in this heirloom for humanity that the Tutu archives represent. We also are looking to foundations. We are looking to civil society organizations and ordinary people who have the resources, but also people who may have material that we don't know exists, to share that with us, so that that material can become part of this heirloom for humanity, available to all human beings, so that we can become the best people that God created us to become.
Dr. Ramphele, from what we understand, the Archbishop's old Toyota Corolla is mentioned as a part of the physical archive. What is the significance of this vehicle, and how does it reflect Archbishop Tutu's values and choices?
Well, can you imagine a Toyota next to the big Mercedes SUVs and the sleek black Mercedes that our government, in a very poor country where people go to bed hungry, drive around? Not one car, as Madiba used to do, but we have a whole cortege of cars that are enormously expensive. The Archbishop's view was simple. I cannot drive an expensive car in a country where people don't have the basics. The money that was given by Warren Buffett, he only used a small portion for the Toyota, and then the rest he devoted to good works and the work of his foundation. And so he was teaching us to move away from opulence. And by preserving that Toyota and making it part of the exhibition, we are saying to people, go back and listen to how this man lived, his values, which are symbolized by his choice of car. Imagine how much more resources we would have in the country if we were to tone down our desire for opulence.
Dr. Mamphela Ramphele, appreciate your time this evening. Thank you so much for speaking to us.